Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you what is in my grooming tote. Because this is always interesting, you know, everyone has their different methods, different ways that they groom their horse. So I'm just going to share with you the brushes that I have and the order and the method that I would use them in. Maybe you're just starting out and you're wondering what brushes you should have or what brushes you should get for your horse. So in this video I'm going to share with you what I would recommend. As always, out of the literally billion other YouTube creators out there, thank you so much for choosing to see what's in my grooming tote today. Be sure and give this video a like so it's easier for other people to find, and subscribe to see more of me in the future. You can also check out my second channel, Allison Adventure, and follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Cantering Gorgeous. But for now, let's get on with this one. So I want to start by explaining a few things that over the years I have worked with and ridden a lot of different horses that belong to different people, and so when I do that I just use their grooming stuff just because it's more sanitary to keep certain brush sets for one specific horse and not share brushes. It's just more hygienic that way. What I'm going to show you is the stuff that is in my grooming tote for the horses that I used to have. And I just keep it in a bucket. This is a basic bucket that you would just use for anything. But the thing is, I really like a bucket because it stands up on its own. There's lots of nice, like fabric-y, like canvas type of bags, but I kind of get frustrated with those because if you're anywhere outside or not like on the nice smooth barn floor, they kind of tend to tip and flop and just like go all over the place. But a bucket, you can set it anywhere and it will just stay really stable and I can just work really quickly and not have to worry about anything. So even though it's quite boring, I just use a bucket. It makes me happier and have more peace on the inside. Okay, so to start with, I just have a very basic rubber curry. I always start with the rubber curry to loosen up all the dirt. Horses like to get massaged, you know, when you really spend time and work on it and get massaged with the rubber curry. So I always have one of these. This one's very basic, and I just actually prefer a very basic one. There are all kinds of really cool, you know, different curries now. There are those Wonder Gloves. I actually have a pair of Wonder Gloves somewhere, I think in my equipment bag. I have used them and they do work really good, but I feel like the nubs on them are kind of really stiff. And so unless you have a horse that really likes to be itched, I feel like they're a little bit too stiff. So for me, I just start with the basic curry. Next up, I would go on to the stiff brush, and this is from Oster. I picked these because the handle is really nice and small. I kind of have small hands, and so if the handle is super big and fat, it's not comfortable for me to get my hands around it. But the Oster ones, you know, your hand just fits like perfectly in there. I would recommend these if you're like a woman or if you have smaller hands. So I use the curry, then I brush off all of the dirt and hair with the stiff brush. And this is stiff. It's not that soft, but I really like this. Second point, since this is synthetic, it's really easy to clean. I've had this for years and it almost looks new just because I was able to clean it and it's really easy to keep clean. I would recommend this one if you're looking for a good stiff brush. Then I have the Oster like soft brush. If I'm correct, this brush is boar bristle. It's really nice and soft. Maybe not quite soft enough for the face, but for a soft body brush, this is excellent. The brushes are very short, and a natural brush against horsehair, this will give you a really nice shine. This is another brush I would also highly recommend. I would just use this to get all of, you know, the last dust off, and it would always give my horse a shine. No matter the condition, this was just a really nice one. I love this brush. Now for some extras, I have just a pink Tough One brush. When I got my mare, since she was a girl, I went and picked out like a hot pink halter, and I got this pink brush. This one is like a long, soft brush, you know, like the bristles compared to the Oster are like almost double. And this is a good one. I mean, it just serves the same purpose. Again, the handle's very ergonomical. The handle like fits really nice. And it's pink. I'm actually using this right now on Georgie because it's winter now and she rolls in the grass and gets all that dry grass on her. So before she comes inside, we'll just like brush her off, and she likes it. So this is a good brush, but it serves more of a purpose as a dog brush now. I have the Oster Hoof pick, and it looks like this. It has a really nice handle. The handle is kind of rubberized, and this is a very basic hoof pick, and it doesn't have the brush on it. I never really seemed to care a whole lot about that. I just wanted to clean out and get a rock if I needed to. Some people say they end up bending the hook part of this. I've never done that. This, you know, is good to really get in there and get the dirt out. You can, I feel like this has enough leverage. You could get a rock out if it was lodged in there. I've used a lot of different hoof picks, and this is still my all-time favorite, I really want to say. Pick isn't too wide. It's not triangle. It's, you know, like some hoof picks, it's a big wide triangle. This is kind of in between, and I think it works really, really well. I would recommend you get the Oster if you struggle with hoof picks like I do. I have a metal curry in here. You know, there's controversy as to whether you should use a metal curry on your horse or not. Or if you should just use the metal curry to clean out brushes. Here's a tip though I read about. You see how one side is really spiky and the other side is a lot more worn down? You can actually pull really hard and twist it over. So now the nubby side, you could use it. Use your own discretion whether you want to use the super spiky or the nubby, but realize you can do that. It's not one or the other. That's why there's a big spring in here. I really don't feel bad using the nubby as long as your horse is telling you they don't mind it. Be careful with it. Yes, it's sharp and it's metal, but your horse will tell you if they don't like it. But I don't have a problem using a metal curry. Hair accessories, hair stuff, I guess, I don't know. I have the Oster hairbrush, and this one's kind of gross. I never ever used, I was at a show barn, and you never ever use a hairbrush on a regular basis. They will believe it will rip out too much hair, and you really want the biggest, thickest mane and tail that you possibly can get. So I never actually used a hairbrush. I do have one though, even though I've never used it. You can basically use any hairbrush and it will work just fine. I do have a comb, just a very basic plastic comb. It kind of got bent being stored in the bucket for so long. When I would wash my horse, I would wash the hair, put conditioner in it, and then comb the conditioner out and rinse it out. And so that's what I would use this for. And I think it's just basic comb. You want a really big comb though when you use it on your horse, because their hair is a lot thicker than human hair. And again, I would not recommend you comb their hair on a regular basis. I mean, keep the knots out of it, but don't comb it just because it's fun. You will end up ripping out all the hair. And now a few tubby things. I have like a jelly grooming mitt. It's got the really fine teeth scrubbies, and then it's got the big nubbies. I just always used this side when I was washing my horse, or even just like if he was really, really soaked with sweat, I would just kind of like hose him and scrub in there just to get all the sweat out. And this worked really well for that. I was always really happy with it. This side I don't like. It's just too big and they're too rough for washing. I just always use the nubby gummy side. And then I have like a horse, what is this called? Like a sweat scraper, a squeegee. It's basically just like a rounded squeegee. I like this because it was just a basic handle. I think it works just fine. I don't really remember if this was really that good or that bad, but I always had one. My horses, I would always hose them off and get all the sweat out after every practice or workout. So I would just keep this in my everyday grooming tote. This works well to, if you're cooling the horse out, to have the hose and then just one hand to like slick off the water versus a long handle one where you kind of like use two hands. I don't know. This is really good to use on a regular basis, to have just one-handed. So this is everything in my grooming tote. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm always curious to see what kind of brushes people have in their tote and what they use on their horse. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!